don't know, people don't know, people be sleeping and shit like that, but I ain't like the rest of these people. You know why? Because I'm a rare breed. Matter of fact, anybody who's Puerto Rican is a rare breed. You like walking Smithsonian exhibits, walking museum exhibits, like artifacts and shit, because of the fact that we got the blood of the first people to come in contact with Europeans and the Caribbeans. Well, now they're gone, they're decimated. They only live inside of the blood of us, which is crazy. So all those memories, all those ideas, all that history is genetic memory now, you know. It's deep. Another thing is, out of all the peoples in the United States of America, Puerto Ricans are unique because of the fact that we have mixtures, not only one, but 3 races and shit like that. So there's a lot of symbolism behind that. That makes us a little bit different. Peculiar to most, because like to black people, you can't be like 20% black. And, you know, to them, they just think that you like a watered down black person. And to white people, it's odd for you to look white and still have West African ancestry. But that is not uncommon amongst Puerto Ricans. To us, that's basically like breathing oxygen and shit. It's second nature to be mixed. It is what it is. We don't have any conflict with that. It's only Americans or people from the United States with this rigid racial identities that have to go through stupid shit like that. The vast majority of people in the Americas don't, but particularly people from the Caribbean, very, again, distinct group of individuals that have a real exotic history to people here, right? So like when I do my music and what I'm doing now, and I see what has gone in my area, there's a lot of symbolism, a lot of history. And people are trying to do away with people like me. They're trying to do away with our personalities. They're trying to do away with everything we represent. Even my city is changing, is becoming more of a metropolis every day. And the community that I represent is gone. And those that are even the remnants of it don't even speak Spanish like the original Puerto Ricans. Not that speaking Spanish is a requirement to be a Boricua in the United States, but our culture, I mean the Taínos didn't speak Spanish, but our culture for those 500 years was predominantly Spanish speaking. It still is. The island, English is not the official language, even though Puerto Rico is an associated territory of the United States of America. But that being said, the environment where I lived all my life, the certain section of my city has gone through rapid development and gentrification, which is inevitable if you live in proximity to Manhattan. You know, I'm right across the water. It's, again, a 5-minute train ride from Exchange Place in Jersey City to the World Trade Center in New York, downtown Manhattan. So, and really the most important places in New York City, at least to the people that come here, are the financial district. I mean, this is the mecca of ultra consumer capitalism. And so, you know, the wave of change was destined to come. But my people have been here for at least, if we're talking about the indigenous peoples of Puerto Rico, which I'm at least 1/4% of, right? Like 25%, right? of these peoples that no longer exist. They've been, and they're from the original inhabitants of this continent, been around for probably 20,000 years and shit. So it doesn't matter like what changes that are going to occur. I know that I'm already rooted in the soil for generations and generations and generations and generations and generations. Going back before time immemorial, right? Because I'm sure 20,000 years ago, motherfuckers didn't have any writing systems and shit. I mean, that was only the advent of writing probably came about, one could say 10,000 to 5,000 years, I don't know. As long as civilization as we know it, since Mesopotamia and the Near East came about. But they want to do away with people like me. Look at it, hip hop. Right now, they want to do away with Puerto Ricans, or they say Puerto Ricans had nothing or no contributions, or, I mean, hip hop is a black art form, African American art. But Puerto Ricans also, on top of the indigenous part, but this is the one thing about being triracial, is that you could blend in however which way. I don't know if it's a survival tool or it's just the way we are. Like, you know what I'm saying? We are mixed, so we can easily blend in with whatever group is the predominant one, wherever region we live in. But African music is extremely potent, and so we had traditions in Puerto Rico where people were already rapping or rhyming on drums that go back to God knows how long. I mean, to bomba drums. You know what I mean? I know Cubans have their own distinct groups, Dominican Republic, you know what I mean? I mean, people gotta understand that the Spanish-speaking Caribbean is probably one of the oldest colonial settlements in the history of the Americas, right? Because, I mean, where the fuck did it start, right? In Española, right? In Quisqueya or Haiti or whatever they call it. But, I mean, the shit, San Juan is older than St. Augustine. And St. Augustine's supposed to be the oldest city in the United States. So, it just shows you how far back my history goes. But the efforts that are being made to kind of remove my peoples from everything is fucking crazy. Even from what I see right now, which makes me come to the conclusion that we are the uninvited, motherfucker. We are 100% the uninvited. They don't want people like me around. They don't want people that like me that represent old traditions and customs, because it's a reminder of the bullshit and the fake shit that's going on now in this fucking generation, or the fake shit that's been going on in the music industry. I remember my peoples told me, he's like, yo, you a different kind of cat. You would go on stage and kill shit, but nobody would know what's gonna come out your mouth, because they automatically were judging you. Him said, he said, I'm paraphrasing, he said, I myself judged you because I looked at your appearance. You wearing a polo shirt, you got dressed in any sort of urban or hip hop way, and then you kill shit, and then you step off and you surprise people because they're not expecting that. And I was like, why would I do something or wear something that's just not normally something I would wear? Like, I always was an individual. It could be in a room with people, again, super blitted, super twisted, doing all types of crazy shit. And I wouldn't do that because of the fact that that's some follower shit. I've never been a follower. I never gave a fuck about what other people were doing. Because that shit fake as fuck. if I feel something, I roll with it. But if I see it's like too cliquish and all that, then that's something that I don't do. I just wasn't taught to be a follower. I was always told to be an individual. So I know no other way, you know what I mean? And that's another thing that gets people mad. Cause I don't fall in line with their bullshit once I find out that the shit they doing is bullshit. And these ain't necessarily bad people. It's just, people be fucking up. But I try my best not to fuck up. I try my best to hold myself accountable. And then fix whatever errors I see. Because that's the beauty of humanity, is about fixing yourself. And the capability to fix yourself. And having the mindset to comprehend the consciousness, being conscientious of when you're fucking up and how to change that. That's what makes us human. So when I look at things that I'm making errors, I try to fix and be better at. And anything I want to be better at, anything I'm doing, I want to make sure I put my best foot forward and always give quality, which is why I'm talented. Because talented is a trial and error thing. It's not something that, no one's naturally gifted. This is some shit that you gotta work at. And a person who is talented or good at something is because they're obsessive. There's healthy ways to be obsessive and non-healthy ways, right? Obviously, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you always need them around and all this shit and being needy and obsessive and shit, that's not the good way. But if it's constantly obsessed over trying to be perfect with, your craft, and that's something different, and that's acceptable. As long as it's not causing damage to anybody else and shit like that. But they want to wipe the slate clean from people like me because I represent a certain idea. I represent a value system that is considered to be null and void because it doesn't fit or is incompatible with what is currently the thing. And I've never been the one to give a fuck about the thing. This will never stop. Wherever I'm gonna be at, I'm gonna be like Ishmael. You know what I mean? It says in the Bible that Ishmael's hand, when they prophesied on what he would become, his hand would be on everyone and everyone's hand would be against him. And I'm that motherfucker. Everyone's hand would be against me and my hand will be against everybody, and I don't give a fuck. Because we were not designed to be a cog in your machine or the machine. My thing is that it doesn't matter. They be like, why you always look forever young? I look forever young because there are people that are looking for me to be old. You understand? There are people that want me to fall off. It would be the best thing for them if I just disappeared from the face of the earth. Just like my people are slowly disappearing. Just like Puerto Rico may one day disappear. Just like the Taínos, they wanted us to disappear because they were a nuisance. In order to make shit easier for colonization. How you think a motherfucker like me got so light in my family? They try to wipe black and Indian blood out of the people for Borinquen, and the last remnants of it is people like me that almost look similar to what, the woke colonizers and shit like that. So the process of trying to whiten out the island by intermingling and the emphasis within the colonial society for people to marry lighter and shit like that. It is what it is. Blanquimiento, even Ramon Betances was put in got a certificate by the colonial government to say that he was He was technically white, even though he was mulatto and shit like that. But that was the thing. And so just like they try to make the population of color disappear in Puerto Rico, they're trying to make people disappear here. But it's not only people of color, like it's not only that. It's like everybody else that try to make the Puerto Rican presence in Jersey City disappear like a motherfucker. And unfortunately, man, Puerto Ricans aren't unified on a revolutionary idea of where our community can be and what we represent and what we symbolize, because we are very powerful in terms of symbolism due to our blood, our heritage. This shit goes beyond the United States of America. We are the first product of the Americas. That's a fucking fact. What you are looking at, in essence, is the first American. You know, people tend to think America as the United States of America. No, we're talking about the whole of America. But understanding the history of the United States of America and our role in it as citizens of this country, because this country is powerful, it's strong, and has a interesting history, even though there's a lot of shit that people don't agree with. That's neither here nor there, right? We're dealing with the now. But in the now, the people from then are still here. So we're not fucking going nowhere. I'm not fucking going nowhere. And when you see me, you'll see a blotch army. I look mad fucking young. People be like, black don't crack. You know, I got black in me just like every other Puerto Rican. That's default from the Caribbean. That's 100%. And that's no lies. Like, you got like these FBA types and a lot of these, you know, like, black nationalist types that try to say that Caribbean types don't belong. The lighter you are, you a white Puerto Rican. All this other bullshit, but we don't give a fuck because our ancestry and the fusion of the three races began before this country was even a fucking thought. Before there was a Jamestown, there was already a Borinquen bin existed. And Africans already cultivated their own cultural identity in Borinquen. I mean, even Bomba goes back to like 400 or 500 years. Like, let's fucking be real. We had the drum 500 years ago. We got the drum now, and I ain't talking about the drums from the Tainos. This shit came from Ghana. That's how deep we are in Africa as well. Which obviously Africa predates God knows what, how many societies out there, especially how West Africa is designed is so complicated. I never understood why people, black folks in particular, have an infatuation with Egypt and other places more toward the east and north, and not have an infatuation with West African culture, Yoruba, Igbo, Fulani, Hausa, Wolof, Mandinga, Ashanti. I mean, this shit is deep, is deep, is deep. Mende is mad deep. Even in Cuba, they got the Abakwa. You got the Lukumi. You got the Paleros. This shit is mad deep. Hard for me to explain in a video. So with all that cultural richness, with our identity already been established, it's hard to get rid of something that has been around for so fucking long. You know what I'm saying? And this is the only reason I believe I'm staying young. It's because of the opposition of the world to get rid of people like me. Like, you motherfuckers got it all fucked up. It doesn't matter if you try to wipe niggas out of music, out of our city. Even if I don't get support from my own people, like, it doesn't fucking matter. Because of the fact that I have already developed this fortitude inside of my heart, and this power inside of my brain, and this potent spiritual essence, and really dynamic presence. Wherever I step foot in, motherfuckers gonna know it's me. But we are the uninvited, and we outside, and we still here.